Around the latest on the wide world of tropics for July 31st, 2025. There are no storms active in the Atlantic Ocean. On to the East Pacific, we have two storms active, which is Disturbance 2, which is formerly Disturbance 3, and the newly formed Tropical Storm Gale, who's currently a tropical storm at 50 miles per hour and 1,000 millibars. The rate for Gale. Gale continues to become better organized this morning, July 31st. Geostationary infrared imagery show steady burst of embedded deep convection with cloud tops less than -80 degrees Celsius. Objective and subjective satellite intensity estimates have increased this cycle and range between 35 to 55 miles per hour, 46 knots. The initial intensities raised to 50 miles per hour, 45 knots, closest to the TAFB and UWCIMSSD PRINT estimates. The storm is moving at 280/12 knots along the southern side of Subtropical Ridge. This mid-level ridge will steer Gale generally northwestward for the next few days, with some increase in forward motion by day 4. The weaker, more shallow cyclone is expected to turn more westward in the low-level flow. The track guidance envelope remains tightly clustered, and only minor changes were made to the latest national hurricane track forecast. Atmospheric and oceanic conditions appear generally conducive for Gale. To continue strengthening substantial indicators even suggests an above average possibility of strong to rapid intensification in the next day or so. Thus, the predicted peak intensity has been risen to 85 miles per hour, 75 knots, in the 36 hours based on these factors and an overall increase in the model intensity guide. Gale is expected to reach cooler waters and a dry, stable air mass in a couple days, will which will cause steady weakening. The latest National Hurricane Center intensity forecast now shows Gale becoming a post-tropical cyclone by day 4, when global models show the cyclone will lose all convection. The Disturbance 3 is now up to 70% chance, and in the next 2 days it's at 10% chance, and in the next 7 days it's at 70% chance. Disturbance 2, formerly Disturbance 3, is currently located south of Mexico. The system has a 10% chance of developing a tropical storm, tropical depression, or tropical storm in the next 2 days, and a 70% chance in the next 7 days. Central East Pacific, an area of low pressure, is expected to form well south of southwestern Mexico in the next couple of days. Environmental conditions appear conducive for some gradual development of the system, and a depression is likely to form over the weekend or early next week as the system moves west-northwestward. In the Central Pacific, we have Invest 92C, whose development is at 30% chance in the next 2 days and a 30% chance in the next 7 days. And right now it's at 30. The wind speed is 30 miles per hour and 109 millibars. Invest in A2C is currently located in the Central Pacific Ocean. The system has a 30% chance of developing into a tropical depression or tropical storm in the next 2 days, and a 30% chance in the next 7 days. While southeast of the Hawaiian Islands, this organized showers and thunderstorms associated with a broad area of low pressure located about 650 miles southeast of Hulu, Hawaii, continue to persist. While the system currently lacks a well-defined low-level center, some development is possible during the next 24 hours. By this weekend, environmental conditions are expected to become less conducive for further development. Tropical Storm Iona, who's weakened to a tropical storm now at 50 miles per hour and 1,001 millibars. Iona continues to generate a strong burst of convection over the low level center. Although there are no recent microwave overpass to show if there has been any increase in the system's organization. The various subjective and objective satellite intensity estimate range from 30 to 50 knots, and based on a blend of these and the current convection, the initial intensity is held at 50 miles per hour, 45 knots. This intensity is supported by a recent ASCAT overpass with 35 to 40 knot winds And the scattermeter data has also been used to revert the wind radar. The initial motion is 280/19 knots. Iona is expected to continue moving westward over the next day or so along the southern prophecy of a low to mid-level subtropical ridge located to the north. By 48 to 60 hours, a gradual turn to the west-northwest and a decrease in forward speed are anticipated as the system approaches a weakness in the ridge. How much of a turn may be dependent on the strength of Iona. The GFS and UKMET have a weaker cyclone and show more westerly track, while the ECMWF and the Canadian models have a stronger system and a more northward motion. The new forecast tracks the difference between these extremes and lies near the various consensus models. Iona continues to be affected by 30 miles per hour, 25 knots of northwesterly vertical wind shear, and due to its is uncertain how long the current convective burst will persist. The intensity guidance shows some weakening during the next 24 hours and 36 hours, while the shear presets are and the official forecast follows that trend. After that, the shear is forecast to decrease, and there may be a day or two where the environment becomes favorable enough for to at least maintain its entity. By the end of the forecast period, global models diverge on the forecast environment near the cyclone, with the GFS forecast strong substance that would surpass the convection, while the ECMWF forecasts are a less hostile environment. The new forecast will lean towards the GFS and the previous forecast and showing gradual weakening with Iona forecast to decay to remnant low by 120 hours. On in the Western Pacific, three storms active, which is Tropical Storm Croatia, Invest 93W, and remnant low Kome before Croatia. Croatia is right now a tropical storm. It's at 50 miles per hour and 782 millibars. Croatia's Japanese typhoon number 9 is located 556 kilometers south-southeast of Japan and has tracked north-northwestward at 13 kilometers per hour, 7 knots over the past 6 hours. Maximum significant wave height is 5.2 meters, 17 feet. Croatia has tracked north-northwestward over the last 6 hours and will continue to do so for the next 24 hours, while still remaining in a weak, strong environment between a subtropical ridge to the northwest and a near equatorial ridge to the southeast. And approaching deep layer 2 will break down as the subtropical ridge in 12 to 36 hours, causing Croatia to curve to the northeast or for the remainder of the forecast period. The deep layer though will begin to interact with Croatia after 2 days, as the system enters the bionic zone, becoming fully extropical in the next 4 days. During the first 24 hours of the forecast will intensify to a peak of 110 kilometers per hour, 60 knots, while tracking over a warm extent of the Croatia current. During the period of intensification, the wind shear will remain low and favorable, and the upper level environment will remain markedly dependent polar. Diana will continue to confine Croatia and have its stronger acidification after 36 hours. Croatia will pass into cold waters north of the Croatia's current, indicating a weakening trend, which will increase unfavorable conditions as the storm tracks eastward and begins to interact with the approaching upper level trout. By the end of the forecast period, Croatia will weaken to 55 kilometers per hour, 30 knots at a next tropical cyclone. The domestic model's guidance is in a good agreement that Croatia will remain in a weak stirring environment. The Joint Typhoon Monitoring Center, multi-model constants, and the SMO guidance, GEFS, ECENS, and COAMPSTC, have trended away from hush over the last few model runs. However, the competitive steering environment and the inner track Mushroom leads low confidence into the GTW Joint Typhoon Warning Center forecast. There is a large spread in the GTWC intensity. Conscious members and can peak intensity between 85 to 120 kilometers per hour, 45 to 65 knots in 1 to 2 days. The longer spread is related to the speed of conscious member track, and the faster moving members peak higher than slower conscious members, which are more likely to weaken due to upwelling. Invest 93 was at 50 miles per hour and 9 bars. Invest 93 is currently located near the Delta Islands. The system has a low chance of developing into a tropical cyclone in the next 12 hours. Maximum sustained surface winds are around 30 kilometers per hour, 15 knots. Maximum sea level pressure is estimated to be near 1,009 millibars. No advisory warning has been yet issued for MS 83 W at this